On today's episode of Locked On Cubs, we discuss the 7-5 win over the Nationals in extra innings, but I talk about why I'm a little irked at some of the managing moves that I thought were really reprehensible. We'll discuss the good parts of the game, and then we're going to finish up with some questions from fans and audience. It's going to be a great show as usual. Enjoy. God bless. Come on.
Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The Cubs played a baseball game on Tuesday night. It was a strange contest in the nation's capital, with the Cubs eventually edging out the Nationals 7-5. Welcome back into Locked On Cubs. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This might be a game, Sam, in which we learn the most about this Cubs team. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on that, but I also think the manager got exposed a bit.
Yeah, so this was a great example of a lot that we've talked about. So I actually do want to talk about tonight's game in detail. Some good that we'll get to later has been the good all year. Justin Steele, Nico Hoerner. And we're going to talk about that. But I want to talk about a situation because, Matt, I've talked a lot on this show about David Ross, and I feel like I haven't been able to use enough specific examples. And so one happened tonight that I just want to express. These are things, and maybe other fans that are really smart don't think this is a big deal. I do. And here's the situation. It was the ninth inning. The Cubs had just blown a lead, which I'm not too upset about because they traded away so many important bullpen pieces. It's going to be tough here and there to close out games. Now, against the Nationals, you should be able to, but I'm not, that didn't irk me that much, okay? What irked me, what frustrated me, was there was nobody on, 2 outs in the ninth inning, 4-4 game with Finnegan pitching for the Nationals. The Nationals basically have 2 good relievers. One of them's Finnegan, and Edwards has had a pretty good year, okay? Ian Happ did not start this baseball game after hitting 2 homers yesterday, which is kind of odd, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. Ian Happ is available on the bench. Rafael Ortega, inexplicably, of course, pinch hit for Christopher Morel when the Cubs were up 3 in another low-leverage situation earlier in the game. So Rafael Ortega was planted in the 9-hole. Ian Happ was pinch hitting for Nelson Velazquez, who was hitting 6th today, I believe. 6th or 7th. I think it was 7th. Right, because McKinstry led off the 8th. So he was hitting 7th. Which, by the way, I don't think that makes a lot of sense at all. But again, that's not my point.
Well, why did Wisdom hit 8th last night, hit 3rd tonight?
Yeah, because right, but I'm going to talk about that. So he pinch hits for Velazquez. The percentage that Ian Happ, who's probably your best second or third best hitter on the team this year, is going to create a run with nobody on and 2 outs against one of their best relievers, I'd say is about 2 to 3% that he hits a home run or hits a double and scores. Whereas if you saved him, just let Velazquez hit for himself, which really isn't a big change percentage-wise in terms of scoring a run with nobody on and 2 outs in the ninth inning, you could have hit Ian Happ in a much bigger spot for Rafael Ortega in the 10th. And I understand you can't assume the game's going to get to the 10th, but at that point, you're playing percentages. What's more likely? Ian Happ helps you win a game in the 9th inning with nobody on and 2 outs, or you hold him in the 9th, get to the 10th, and Ian Happ comes up, the second guy due up, replacing Rafael Ortega with a man on, in this situation, it was 1st and 3rd, nobody out, and then you get to use your best hitter. I don't really care that Ortega ended up hitting a fluky ground out, the run didn't count, and then Ortega got thrown out, so it makes my point look smarter. But I said this before it all happened. I called you and was ranting about it. I left you an audio message, I believe.
Yes.
So it worked out to where my point was proven correct, but it doesn't even matter. It's the process. You want to use your best bench hitter where it gives you the greatest chance to win a game. And Ross does this over and over again. He'll use his best guy with nobody on 2 outs when in the 7th inning, he could have used that same guy with bases loaded 1 out. If you're going to use that guy, use him where it the most chance it increases your ability to win a baseball game. And then just really quick, lastly, again, Patrick Wisdom ended up getting a big hit in the 3 spot today in extra innings, but he should never be hitting third, because even though he hits lefties a little bit better than righties, what happens late in the game when you go to a righty? It just doesn't. Ross overdoes the platoon stuff. And it just doesn't make sense, and that really bothered me today. I hope I explained that well. What I'm trying to say is just that Ian Happ was going to be used today, and if he was used, use him in a spot that could help you win a game, not with nobody on 2 outs where he either has to hit a home run or get an extra base hit and then have the guy behind him get a base hit. You know what I mean? For example, Barry Bonds in that situation is going to get walked, and you're probably not going to score a run. Use your best guys in the best chances to win games.
Do you think that Ross, and maybe you already thought about this prior to tonight's game, but do you think it got to a level tonight in which he was exposed for doing his job?
No, because I just don't think the casual fans watch it like that.
Okay.
I don't think anybody was raising an eyebrow when a Happ hit. These are just things that I watch very
let's
closely.
point it out. Let's draw it up.
But, to me, he's been exposed all year. And this is just a continuation of it. It's just ironically, since we started the show and the timing of it, I haven't had we've been talking so much about the trade deadline and talking about other stuff. I haven't been able to reference specific examples. But tonight was an example that, to me, just made no sense.
And one of the biggest things that irks me in terms of the defensive alignment towards Ross comments, Sam, is he doesn't have the roster.
Yeah, it's wrong.
And now you can conveniently cherry pick some of that because of the decline of the bullpen through attrition, through trades. But the fact of the matter is the position players, I mean, you're seeing it with all these recent series, actually, against teams of a similar winning percentage. You illustrated it nicely a couple weeks ago now, where if you were to mash 2 rosters together from 2022, the Cubs and all these teams, almost always the Cubs are going to have 5+ guys on the diamond over the other team.
With the bad teams, right?
With the bad teams.
With the Pirates, with the Reds, with the Nationals, with the A's, with the Tigers. And those teams, some of them aren't far off from the Cubs at all.
And I think that the last 2 nights have really just showcased to me as a fan and as somebody that keeps the looking glass towards 2023, but is 100% trying to evaluate the 22 product still.
Sure.
Because I care about that. And I think it does matter for 23.
Right. Of course.
Now, at the end of the day, do the wins and losses matter, in air quotes for the people on audio, matter for 23? Probably not.
Right.
But when you look at a game, okay, whether it's a regulation game or now the Cubs, they improved to a grand 5-11 in extra innings in 2022.
Right.
It's just, I just have to shrug my shoulders sometimes.
By the way,
and I do think a lot of it
go ahead, sorry.
is because of the dugout.
No, you know me. I've said, you notice when I talk, I get a little anxious. Like I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm looking, and then I talk, I get a little bit. You know what I mean?
Thanks for listening and watching.
No, I just get so into this club.
Of course.
No, I agree with everything you said. We've said
that's why we're here.
We've said it numerous times, and I think people are starting to see it. Fun fact, though, that's kind of cool. Cubs have won 5 extra inning games. I believe Patrick Wisdom has got the game-winning hit in 3 of them. At St. Louis, at Atlanta, and tonight.
I did look up a question you had from earlier.
Yeah,
I believe on Twitter at Sam Olber. The Cubs have blown 39 games.
39. So they've lost 39 times where they've had a lead.
38. I'm sorry. 38.
The stat I was looking for is how many games have they lost where they've had a 3-run lead.
I was trying my best,
and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it.
You looked too, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because off the top of my head, I could think of about 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be a do. You know.
Okay. Yeah. We're trying to do some research.
I want a
100%.
better manager. That's for all you folks. Debate it. Did you like it? Did you love it? I don't really. Okay, sorry.
All right, well, let's talk more about this ball game then, Sam, because there is, quite frankly, a lot more to get into. First, most of us have overworked livers, but now it's easy to rejuvenate your liver health and reignite your metabolism thanks to Liver Health Formula by Pure Health Research. As a listener to Locked On Cubs, you can try Liver Health Formula risk-free today and get a free bottle of Curb Fit with your order. Curb Fit is a safe and all natural appetite suppressant, making it easy to say no to naughty foods. This makes it the perfect complement to Liver Health Formula. Go to getliverhelp.com/MLB to learn more. Again, that's getliverhelp.com/MLB to try Liver Health Formula completely risk-free and claim your free bottle of Curb Fit with your order. Go to getliverhelp.com/MLB now to get started. Last week, Sam made a Suzuki joke or a Cubs joke after that. But didn't you?
I did.
Yeah.
I said if Suzuki doesn't start getting a couple,
Go
base
back
hits,
into the old episodes.
I'm gonna need to start.
That.
I'm gonna need to take a lot of pills for my liver health. And since then, I think he has 2 hits.
Jeez.
Although he did have a base hit late in the game tonight. I want to see Seiya start to pull the baseball in the air. Texted you that tonight. You didn't really reply.
Just hit the ball hard to the left side.
Yeah.
If you want to start out a little bit lower to the ground, okay. But yes, elevate the baseball. Your goal is to always hit the ball hard.
Let's talk
We're
about
looking for hard contact, but yeah, a little more often would be helpful.
Let's talk about some positives from tonight, and I'm going to give you 3 names, and I want to hear let's play a little word association.
Okay,
I'm going to give
great.
you.
What is this, a game show?
Yeah, and I'm putting you on the spot.
Okay, great.
I want one word.
Maybe you could do a little hosting every now and then.
Yeah. I'm going to give you a name, and I want the first word that comes to your mind right now, and I'm going to start with Franmil Reyes.
Powerful.
Yes.
I mean, this guy hits a baseball.
I was going to say intriguing, and I think powerful would have beaten that.
I think so.
There's not a lot of guys in the game of baseball right now that can hit the ball. There's not a lot of guys in the game that can hit no doubt opposite field home runs, and that 6'5", 260-pound behemoth is one of them.
He's hit a home runner off the wall, Oppo, twice this week.
I'm going to give you another name, and it's going to be Justin Steele. Oh, you got to be
efficient.
I was going to say intriguing again.
Oh, jeez. You can't do that. You got to switch.
Solid.
Yeah, he's been rock solid in the second half. He entered tonight's game 1.40 ERA, which is 7th in the entire sport in the second half.
And I'm going to conclude with Nico, Derek Sanderson, Jeter, Horner.
Excitement.
And you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to throw word association away and say the best shortstop in the city of Chicago.
I like it. Or just one of the best shortstops in the league.
I mean, this guy.
Up to 306 average now after a 3-hit ball game.
The ball he hits.
Some weather coming in.
He's been hitting the ball so hard.
Yeah.
Extra bases, singles, starting to mix in some walks, playing an efficient short.
Do you notice where he's getting his extra base hits, by the way, to your Suzuki point?
It's going to be to the pull side.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's going to be right down the line.
Horner
is the man. We know.
I don't
tread with caution. Be excited.
I don't know if he's reached building block status yet.
Okay. But we're close, right?
But we're getting close, Matthew.
I mean, we're to the point where you're going to be across the table from the Correas of the world. And it's like, dude, you got to move to third if you come here.
As he continues to hit 5th and 6th in this lineup.
Yeah, that's despicable. Well, the Horner 6 makes no sense.
And I'd also like to shout out my guy, Mr. Alexander Canario hit
Yeah.
his 29th home run of the minor league campaign. And
And that's for the Smokies of Tennessee.
And it's starting to look like Double A is a joke to him.
Yeah, it looks like BP.
And he's going to be in Triple A before the season ends. And I've been saying on this show that he's a guy to watch out for. He should be. You know what? He should be one of the top 100 prospects in the game of baseball.
I could see that. Before the next season rolls around, for sure.
I know there's a lot of swing and miss, and the plate discipline isn't good. This guy's got tools that flash.
It's time to get him to Iowa and get him some PAs with the I Cubs in AAA because it's time to graduate from the level he's at.
And speaking of Iowa, you had a gif about Rafael Ortega today.
I decided to enter the chat and
explain that gif.
Well, the gif was following, and I appreciate you pronouncing it correctly because many in our country pronounce it like the peanut butter. And so I did post a gif, and this is going to be of Rafi Ortega. And in my mind, this should be Rafi's last game with the ball club.
Elaborate.
This is following a crucial, okay, good verb choice by me. Thank you. A crucial mistake on the base paths in extra innings. By the way, this game, I can't even step out for an hour and go to my friend John's house. He just moved in right by me. All heck breaks loose.
And just
Rowan Wick is pitching in the 7th and all this crap.
And just a quick follow-up. Would you say that this is Rafael Ortega's first base running mistake this year? Or would you say it's about his dozen?
His 14.
Yeah, got it.
Right. So a mistake on the bases, and that's only to pile on to limited offensively, average defensively, league average. And the fact is again, where the plate appearances being spread out. Velazquez, it'd be nice to see him in center more. And it all has a domino effect because you mentioned Canario. Okay. Well, if you DFA Ortega tomorrow, you could bring up Darius Hill or Crook, and Canario goes up to AAA. So I think you have to do that for the sake of the future of the franchise. It's not about this moment in time. Did that play on the bases frustrate me? And it's worth him not playing the rest of the week, much less tomorrow. But they need to make a roster move for the good of the domino effect of the whole franchise, for crying out loud. Can't even leave for an hour.
You ever watch WWF in the Attitude Era?
I never got into it.
Never mind. I was gonna make a rock joke. If you smell what's cooking, Canario's cooking.
Oh, I know that phrase.
I could smell it. I could smell it.
Yes. Yeah. So Steele tonight, Sam. I just want to give his final line: 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. Of course, it was not earned.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it wasn't earned because he threw the ball in the center field on a pickoff play. 2
walks, 5 Ks, and then Hughes. I thought he was fine. It was a weird play at home with Contreras. I guess he got into a spat with the fan as well. I saw on Marquee. I don't know if you saw that, Sam.
I didn't see that. I was watching the Nationals feed. I didn't get a good Marquee feed.
Okay. Yeah. Early on, the Marquee feed was having some problems. They got it worked out after the first.
Right.
But yeah, Contreras was jawing with a fan as he came off the field after the bottom of the 10th. And they had to kind of hold him back in the dugout. So that was great. But yeah, just a very, very highly active game that didn't necessarily need to be, but I do think we learned a lot. So what else? I mean, Velazquez, is he going to be in the lineup for Wednesday's game? Do we know? What would you predict? Do you want to predict even?
Matt, you might as well spin the wheel. And what Velazquez, Higgins, it's almost like Ross shows up and just What do we got today, fellas? Yeah, no, let's go with Velazquez. Hadn't played in 4 days. Every time he plays, he hits. He's hitting 308 since the All-Star break. His OPS is over 1. Let's bench him.
And now a message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. You're hanging out with some friends and putting back a few drinks. A few becomes a few too many. As the evening comes to an end and people start to head out, you think of calling for a ride and you can make it home okay. It's no big deal. What are the odds you'll get pulled over anyway? And even so, what's the worst that could happen? Your insurance goes up, you lose your license, you lose your job, you total your car, you kill someone. Everyone knows the risks of drunk driving. The results are tragic and often deadly. However, that still doesn't stop everyone from getting behind the wheel while under the influence. That's why police officers are out there right now looking for impaired drivers on our roads to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again, play it safe, and plan ahead to get a ride. It only takes one mistake to change your life or someone else's forever. Drive sober or get pulled over. All right, we're going to wrap up today's program with a question from Bryce in Iowa. He is a loyal listener. And if you have a text or a voicemail, which I'm still trying to figure out how to play on the show, that's 312-834-4634. Question for the show. Pick your one position player and one pitcher you would like to see the Cubs call up in September. Bryce's ideally is Brennan Davis if healthy, but he needs some more at-bats on the farm. So he'll go Darius Hill and Caleb Killian. As of a couple of years ago, rosters only go up to 28 now in September as opposed to 40. So literally they're going to call up 2 players.
That's a good question.
Those are good picks. I'm going to say Matt Mervis and a relief pitcher, maybe Cam Sanders.
So
it is a good question, though, right?
Yeah. So my picks, I'd say Mervis. I'd like to get a look at him. It's a hard.
You're really letting it marinate.
Yeah, because I want to watch Jordan Wicks pitch a game, but I know that's not realistic. I know he's not going to.
Wow, that'd be really cool.
I know. Because I just seen Killian, and I feel like if Killian comes and pitches, I think Killian makes the most sense. But like if he pitches poorly,
he only makes probably a handful of starts, though. Killian.
Yeah, I know. I just really hope he does a good job because I'll feel really bad. Whereas like Wicks is more of a less pressure situation where I could just kind of watch him and just see, because I know he's not going to be on the rotation, but I just want to see, I just would love to, they did that with Braylon Marquez in the COVID year. Remember that against the White Sox?
Yeah, he pitched one game. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd love to see Wicks just come in and just see what he's got. But I'd probably say Mervis and Killian would be the most realistic.
Okay. Mervis across 3 levels this year, 305, 24 home runs, 93 RBI.
Yeah. What is he, Lou Gehrig? You know what I mean? I mean, guys driving in runs. Guys driving in more runs than anybody in the land. Frank Robinson, Lou Gehrig.
Seriously.
Every time I get into a historical, I start referencing old guys. For whatever reason, I always want to go to Stan Musial. I just like the name.
Yeah,
Stan Musial played for our rivals over at the Arch.
No, you have many good references.
I would love
to
do one day on a show like in the off season. I don't know if fans would enjoy this or not. Maybe they can comment below. But just like an all-time Cubs team, and we do like
all-time lineup.
Yeah, an all-time roster. We do
that straight up for a whole week.
We do a bench. We do a pen middle reliever,
a manager.
Oh well. Yeah, no, it's got to be either Joe Madden or Leo DeRocher.
Well, find out in November.
You know who it's not? It's DeRocher.
That's where we're going to wrap up today's program. Be sure to hit that subscribe button for Locked On Cubs on YouTube and the like button as well for all your favorite Locked On Cubs content, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. and drop us a text like Bryce did, 312-834-4634. We've gotten to a good routine of reading questions later in the show, so let's keep that rolling. Thanks for making Locked On Cubs your first listen every day. Now make your second listen the Locked On MLB podcast. Paul Francis Sullivan brings humor, passion, unique perspective on every team and the biggest stories around the league. Fun show. For Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.